Hello, I'd like to start this video by updating on my night's sleep. I went to bed at 10 p.m, hoped I would fall asleep because I'd been awake for like 30 hours, so I thought that would be enough. It wasn't. I think I fell asleep for like 1 hour after 12, or something, 1 or 2 hours. Woke up at around 2 with some stomach pains, so that woke me up and like wasn't able to go back to sleep. So I just lay there for 2 more hours, then read a little to try and make myself a little more tired. And after that, I think I fell asleep at around 6 a.m. Woke up once, then fell asleep again. So I woke up at 12, checked my watch, and fell asleep again. Woke up at somewhere between 3 and 4. So I got some sleep. It was a lot of just laying there awake, which I hate. And the sleep rhythm is not the best, but I'll just focus on the sleep now and fix the rhythm later. I've done that a billion times, so I can do that later. I have no idea what I'm gonna do tonight. Probably stay awake the whole night again. I don't know. Most likely. It seems like I'm able to sleep at around, maybe if I stay awake for around 36 hours. So that's what it's been till now. But it's still early in the experiment, so we'll see what happens. I kind of want to talk about what the sleeping and the chronic fatigue has done with my education. Elementary school, I was always tired and sick. Like, waking up sick, like waking up with stomach pains, waking up with a headache, waking up just feeling horrible. And of course, like parents are supposed to, my parents made me go to school. Like, of course, I don't blame them at all. A lot of the days I was sent back home, or I just went back home. And also a lot of days I managed to convince my parents to stay home. So the later into elementary school, the more I was able to convince them to let me stay home. But I was sick so much that even me myself thought I was just ditching for some reason. Like, all the kids around me thought I was just ditching, and everyone thought it so much that it made myself think it. Like, but when I started junior high, that's when I got diagnosed with delayed sleep rhythm. It started with, like, my doctor thought that my body was creating melatonin at like 5 in the morning instead of at night. For those who don't know, your body creates melatonin to make you tired. So your body starts to create melatonin sometime at night before you go to bed to make you realize it's nighttime and you should go to bed. But I was probably, we think, creating it at early morning. So I was falling asleep early morning. Like, I usually went to bed at 8 a.m. and woke up at 5 p.m. if no one managed to wake me up. But my mom used to try and wake me up at 2 and usually just giving up. She would even pull me out of bed, literally pull me out of bed, and I would just crawl under the bed and sleep and just whatever I could to just sleep. So that was, yeah, junior high. I was the same, but then I had a diagnose. Still, no one knew what that disease was, because I was told even by the doctors that I was the first person he knew with that disease. Now it's more known. 10th grade, or the last year of junior high here in Norway, I don't know what's normal to other countries. I think I was probably at school half the time, at home the rest. At the end of junior high, I think I was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. Then it was off to high school, where I did not have any grades really to get into the schools and classes that my friends were. So my friends went one way and I went the other way. Literally, one school is that way and one school is that way. So at school I was very much by myself, because the chronic fatigue and the sleeping thing, that's made me very shy and not much of a people person. So so I spent 2.5 years, half because I quit before the first semester was done, both years. So I started 2 years of electrician school, or electrician classes. Quit before Christmas both times. Next year I went to the same school as my friends, but they were done. I went to mechanics. That quickly ended up with me just spending half the time there as well. Like, I was only there when we were doing mechanic things. I just made a deal with my teacher, I guess. He was pretty helpful. So I didn't have to do any school stuff, just try and be there for the social things. So I was trying to just be there for the mechanics. And I was there less and less and less, and quit before Christmas again. Then I took a free year, just stayed home, just tried to focus on my health and my sleep. Next year I went to tried 4th year of the first grade in a first high school class. I went to something called this is the having to translate everything before I say it. Service and sales thing. So the first year I just no, but I met some nice people there. Again, the teacher was so helpful with understanding my disease. Like, that's when I started hearing about something called folk high school. Something we have in Norway and I think all of Scandinavia. So I heard a little about that. I met a cool guy in the class who was like, he worked at the folk high school for a bit, because since it was sales and stuff, like every Wednesday we had to work to learn about sales and stuff like that. So he worked as a janitor at the folk high school, so I heard a little more about it. Because he was the son of the principal of that folk high school. And I just got a phone call from a salesman trying to interrupt my video. Where was I? Yeah, he was the son of the principal, so then I heard about that folk high school. So we became friends, and I again quit school before Christmas. I tried the same school again for one last try. So I did the same sales thing again. Didn't go well, but my teacher then told me that he thought folk high school would really be a thing for me. That would really fit me nicely. I still had no idea what it really was. So he told me I should go to folk high school and try it out. And I should just quit school because he saw how it was going. So again, I quit for a 5th time. Every time, by the way, it was a mutual decision between like me or teacher, my mom, doctors, everything. It was not just me quitting because I was sick of it or anything. It was always a mutual decision between me and other people who was agreeing with me. So I quit for a 5th time. I applied at the folk high school. I wrote in the application that I had something called chronic fatigue syndrome. So I got an answer. They asked me if I could explain more about the disease. So I answered that since I was living so close, I could just come in and explain there if that would be easier, and yeah, that would be. So I went to the high school, talked with the principal, and explained about the chronic fatigue. And he said his daughter had it as well, so he understood. So that made me feel like he really understood how I was doing. So yeah, I started folk high school, and that just changed my whole life. The principal was so understanding of how I was doing. So if there was anything I needed, any time off I needed, anything, I just had to ask him and he would understand and everything. Like in folk high school, you live at the school like you do in college and stuff like that, so you live there. So this is Norway's and the world's biggest folk high school. So even I, who wasn't really a people person, got a lot of friends, and all of them were so understanding. It was so amazing. Like everyone understood me, listened to me, and it was great. All the teachers understood and was so helpful. Yeah, I owe my whole life to that folk high school, Nordhordland folk high school. Yeah. This video has gone on way too long, but I think tomorrow I'll talk about that folk high school to just explain how much that has done for my life. And yeah, like I think if I didn't start folk high school, my whole life would just still be sitting like on the computer, which I am now, but that would be it. But yeah, tomorrow you'll see how much the folk high school has changed my life. So yeah, and I also update you tomorrow what I do with my sleep. I haven't taken any sleeping medication since Sunday. Now it's Friday. And by the way, I want to clear something up from, yeah, no one's listening this far, but I want to clarify something about the sleeping medicine. I've never abused any sleeping medicine or any pills or anything like that. I've never abused them. It's just that I'm addicted to them in the way that I have to take them to sleep. I need the sleeping medicine to be able to sleep. That's what I mean by I'm addicted to them. There's nothing, never ever been any abuse of the medicine. I've never taken more than I know that I need of any pills ever. Just I want to clarify that before that gets confusing or misunderstood. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, and tomorrow explain about what folk high school is and how it's changed my life. And yeah, see you tomorrow.